Welcome to this channel. In this video, I will show you how to set up your standard events. You may have standard or custom events you want to set on your ad account or in your event manager so that you can run adverts. Let me just show you what I want to say. Let's say you are running a typical e-commerce advert. Now, let's say we are running an e-commerce advert for conversions. Okay. And then we want to choose, let me go to the ad set level and show you something. We are running it to a website. So we're running an e-commerce advert to a website. Let's say we want to choose a conversion event like purchase. You see that when you look at it, it says set up a conversion. You can use the meta pixel to track valuable actions people take on your website and optimize your ads for those actions. Now, so we have been asked to set up a conversion because a purchase event is not set. So for us to be able to use it, we have to set up. So when I click on this one, let me show you something. You see, track conversion with standard events, track with custom event. So I want to use the custom event option. Now, I can do this directly here. I can also just go to, let me just do it this way for you to see. I'll duplicate it this way. Oh, I want to go to the event manager. So let me just click here, event manager. Yeah, so I'm actually at the pixel. This is the pixel I want. Okay. Okay, I'm at the right place now. Now, as you can see, the pixel is connected. We have some events. So when you check the last 28 days, you will see something like page view is active. But there are other events that we are interested in, something like purchase, something like add to cart, and all that. But when you look, you see that those events are not showing. It's only page view. And page view will not help us that much because this one, we can only track people who will go to the landing page to view a product or whatever service we're offering. But for us to track if they can buy, if they try to buy the product, for us to track and see the actions they are taking, like add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, all those things we cannot track. So how do we track that? We have to come to the settings. We have something we call standard and custom event. We want to set up the standard event. So to set up the standard events, we have to come here and then click on Open Event Setup Tool. Then they will ask of the site. So I'll put the site here and click on Open. It opens to the site. So we can track event with either a button or a URL. And to track an event with the button, and when we say standard event, typically for an e-commerce advert, the standard event, we have page view. The page view is normal for almost every website, but event like, if I click on track new button, for example, you will see we have a host of actions we can take. So for example, if I want to track someone clicking on, so let me click on this one, you see something. So you see, when I click on a product and I click on add to cart, okay, so anyone who clicks on add to cart, we can track that button. So for example, when I click on track button and I click on add to cart, for example, so I can come here, you see add to cart is there. So add to cart is a standard event. So what I mean is that whichever website it is, add to cart will almost be the same. Because when someone clicks on add to cart, it actually means that the person is adding it to the person is adding to cart basically, or adding to, let's say, the digital shop basket, where he will later go to pay for them. So it's more or less like if you go to a physical shop or store or mall, you have a basket where you go around and pick all the items and add in. So any typical e-commerce will have add to cart. So add to cart is a standard event. Now, let me explain to you what a custom event is. I will later teach you how to set up a custom event, but basically, in some cases, you may need to define what your add to cart or buy is or purchase is. For some website or typical e-commerce website, we know that for someone to purchase something, the person might have actually, it will be through normally through a debit card or credit card or PayPal or any other online payment method. The person will use that pay, and after payment, a receipt will be issued. So that is typically what we call purchase. But there will be some particular website where for someone to purchase, the person may not necessarily need to add a debit card. The person can just purchase by submitting a form he or she has filled. So in that case, a purchase, we have to define what we mean by purchase. But if it is a typical e-commerce website, a purchase, as I explained, will be paying using an online payment method and getting a receipt. So when we mean standard event, we mean the events that are typically the same for almost all e-commerce sites that we know that purchase is purchase. Add to cart is you adding to the digital cart or shop basket. So that's what we basically mean. So for this one, we're going to set up the standard event. Later on, I'll show you how to set up a purchase, a custom event. Okay. So for now, I'm not including the value. Okay. To include value means that what are you, so when you are selecting add to cart, what is the value in monetary terms to you if someone is adding to cart? So add to cart basically will not have value until the person purchases. So I choose add to cart. I won't choose any value for it for now. Then, in fact, the adding the values they are asking, the only importance of it is if you add values to it, and let's say I run the advert and I'm optimizing for add to cart, I can calculate the returns on the investment. But normally add to cart alone, as I told you, unless you calculate if people add to cart, if let's say 10 people add to cart, how many of them will buy and what will be the value of a sale? Unless you do that, you may not typically be able to tell how much add to cart will value to you. So that's why I'm choosing to add the value. Okay. So don't include value for now. And then so I'm confirming. So that event has been set. I will later complete it. Then I'm tracking another new button. But let me just close. Okay, so after adding to cart, when the person later clicks on, let's say, buy now, so we can decide. So the person needs to sign into his or her account. I already have an account, so I'll click on login. So when the person clicks on buy now, I was expecting other options like, you may have initiate checkout and all that. Now, so in this case, if you look at how this website is, buy now will be like initiate checkout. So I have to now select the event. So I'm selecting that as initiate checkout. And then, okay, so I'm not including a value for it. So initiate checkout, I've confirmed. I can click on it again. So when I actually click, it brings us to proceed checkout. It will almost be like the one I selected earlier. Proceed checkout, or the buy now and the proceed checkout will almost be the same. So I'll decide not to track this one, because if someone clicks on the buy now, if you look at the standard event that we have here, among the standard event, for example, if I click here, you'll see that if you check, you may not see something like buy now. So I have defined my buy now to mean if someone clicks on the buy now, the person is basically proceeding to the checkout. Okay. So for initiate checkout, I will cancel that one and then go to the next one. Okay. So I would also want to track this button. Anyone who clicks on register here is registering for an account, and I have to indicate that. So that will be add payment info. So I also confirm that one. We click on proceed. And then, so this particular page, I already registered for an account earlier. And so I have my account information there. So we just click on proceed. I'm not interested in tracking this particular page. So when I click on proceed, it is asking me to place order. Let me just reduce my screen so that we can see things very well. Okay, so it is asking me to place the order. So if I click on the delivery option, which is we have standard, and we also have setup pickup free free pickup or something. Yeah. So I can choose to take any of them. But when I get to this particular place, so for example, we have place order. Okay. So when someone clicks on place order, I can track it. So for example, so I can decide to click on place order as either a purchase or a complete registration. But complete registration normally will be if someone will need to apply for something. So because this one is an e-commerce, there are two ways I can track for the purchases. I can either track this button to be a purchase button, or I can choose to track, say, someone who actually submit a payment, or after the person, when the person clicks on place an order, the person will be redirected to the payment option for him or her to be able to complete the payment. So there are two ways I can track the payment. So in this tutorial, I would like to choose this button as a purchase. So if I choose it as a purchase, I'll choose don't include value for now. Choose value on page. Okay, so they're asking me to choose a value of a purchase. So no, I'll choose the value here. Okay, so we have choose value on page and don't include value, and use value from initiate checkout. Okay, choose value on page. Okay, so I'll choose the choose value on page. Check out your card subtotal, and then so yeah, the value will be chosen based on the, what do you call it, the page, the checkout, the amount that is going to be there. Okay. Okay, the option is not allowing me to choose it. So I'll just go back to don't include the value. Okay, so I'll confirm, and that is also done. So if I click on place order here, it actually takes me to where I will be able to enter my information to place an order now. Okay, so that is basically what you need to do in order to set up your standard events. And we are not done yet, but I'll just go back to the next step. This is where I was. In fact, the setup is not yet done. For me to finish this setup, I need to click on finish setup. When I click on finish, it means these are ones I have chosen: add to cart, initiate checkout, add payment info, purchase. So if I click on finish, those ones will actually be they will be complete. So I have been able to set up those events. Now, just come back, and then if I refresh this screen, those actions I took, after some time, they're supposed to show in the events section. So you will see that the page view, it can take up to 30 minutes to 1 hour. Those events are supposed to show here. They will show below here. Now, I want to also show you how to create the custom event. For the custom event, when you come here, you will see custom conversions. You click on custom conversions. You click on connect. It will ask you the name of your event. So for example, I can decide to choose here, maybe add to cart. See, add to cart. Then come to the site. So when someone clicks on a certain product, for example, if the person clicks on add to cart, normally when a person clicks on add to cart, it will direct the person to this particular URL. It's not the same URL for all of them, but it is going to be similar for all of them. So there is a certain part that you should check, that any product that the person clicks on add to cart, it will bring the person to this URL. That particular URL will be there. So for example, let me show you what I'm saying using a different product. So if you come here, let's say I click on this one and I click on add to cart. Okay. So you see that it brings me to this particular part. So if you look at this one, so you see that we're at rosemalleonline.com/product/details. If you come here, you are seeing the same thing. Now, let me show you something here so that you can see the difference. If you come here, okay, if I haven't added to cart yet, yeah, when you check, you may see, if you check this URL and then the other URL. So for example, this is /product/details/8577. This is also /product/details8577. But if you look at the ending, this is ending with 7A. This one is almost ending with the same thing. So in this case, I'm not seeing much changes between the two URLs. But in some cases, the URLs will differ. So it means that this one, if we're going to use the URL, I won't be able to track someone who has clicked on add to cart or not. So let me try clicking again and see whether there will be a change. If I click on add to cart, it is supposed to load me to this particular one. See, the URL is not changing. If I haven't clicked on add to cart here and I've clicked here, the URL is supposed to change. It's not the same for every website. So if the URL is not changing, you cannot track the differences. So in that case, this one, using the custom conversion will be difficult. The custom conversion is able to work if the URL changes. So what you will have to do basically is to look at your situation and determine whether you will have to use custom or standard event. Why am I saying that it may be difficult to track some of the stages here? If the URL had changed, and let me show you a typical one here. Let me show you a typical one here so that you will understand the difference in what I'm saying. Let me show you a typical one here. If I click on any of these products here, so let's say I want to buy one of these services. So if I click on, you see the site link. If I click on add to cart, just check the site link very well. Then let me say I click on, oh, it's already added to cart, view cart, very good. I want to rather talk of view cart. If I click on view cart, as you can see, this one, the link has changed. You are seeing gietworldwide.com/cart. But if I go back to the previous URL, you see that there was no /cart there. So this one, there is a difference. So in this case, if this is the situation on my side, and I want to check anyone who has clicked on add to cart. So what I will just do is to come here, copy this URL, come here and put this URL here. Put this URL here. So if I paste it here, you see, and I click on create, it means that anyone who goes to what do you call it, this particular URL, anyone who goes here, if I actually put it here and create it, anyone who goes to this particular URL will be tracked as add to cart. So that is if you are using the custom conversion, that is how to do it. But if you are using the standard one, as I said, you will not need to copy the URL and put it. The system will automatically track. And in that case, it is tracking the button. In fact, even with the standard event, we still have purchase, and we also have the button, track button, and we also have track URL. Earlier on, I'm sure you probably didn't check, but if you had checked what I was doing, for example, if I go back to the, what do we call it? Let me just go back and show you. I'm going back to the event setup tool. Open event setup tool. You put the URL and open to the site. You see, if you come back here, for example, we still have the track button or track URL, and the tracking of the URL is similar to the custom event setup. It is similar to that one. So that is how you can track your custom event. You can track your standard event. You can track the standard event with either the button or the URL method and all that. Now, if you want to know whether all that you have done is working or not, you come to the overview and check all the events that are showing. Now, when you set it up, as I mentioned earlier, immediately, they will not show up immediately, but it will take, normally it takes up to 48 hours for the event to start responding. So those that I have set up, after 48 hours, if those actions are taken, you see it will begin to respond. They will begin to show on this side. And you can come here and click on today, so that if it actually shows, because if you just leave it to the last 28 days, last 28 days is up to yesterday, and you have just set it today. So it means that you won't see it. But if you leave it under today, within 48 hours, or from now to the next 48 hours, in fact, it can start reflecting in an hour or 2 or 3 hours time. But in some cases, it may take up to 48 hours. So you just have to keep on checking. If you actually go to the site and click on anything, if you click, if the events are really working, it will begin to show here after or within the 48 hours. And this is exactly what you need to do in order to track your standard and your custom event. If you follow this procedure, you are going to be able to set up your standard and your custom event. If you have any problem doing it, you can leave your comments in the comment section. We will follow up to help you. If you are now setting up your ad campaign and you come back to your at the conversion, at the place where you're supposed to select the conversion location and the conversion event. For example, if you select, let me just scroll down here and show you something. When you come here and select, let's say, add to cart, for example, it's actually set up. It is yet to reflect. So we will expect to see it when it starts to reflect. This particular message, set up a conversion, will not actually appear again. But it is because now it hasn't taken effect yet, or it hasn't reflected yet. So this is exactly what you need to do. When you follow this procedure, you'll be able to get your custom and your standard event set up. And at the end of the day, you can run your conversion event. Leave your comments in the comment section. Follow the WhatsApp link to WhatsApp us. You can follow our website link to our site to see more of what we have and what we can offer you. And we assure you that if you are running ad campaigns that are not converting, we will be able to help you run effective ad campaigns that will actually give you more conversions. If you also don't know how to set up your pixel, because if your pixel is not set up, you can't even set up your custom and standard event. That one, you can check the link above, follow it to that video. You can also check the link in the description, and you'll be able to do that. Once again, thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Okay, so it has been about 1 hour, 30 minutes, or almost 2 hours now, and I checked to see if the events I set up are active. And as you can see, everything is green now. They are all connected. So if I come to refresh here, for example, you see all of them, all the actions I was taking earlier on, all of them are showing here. So you see add to cart, you see add payment info, you see initiate checkout, purchase, all of them are active. So they can now be used to run the advert. So now when you go back to, I just want to practicalize it so that you can see it well and know that, yes, what I was saying is working. So if you come here, this is the ad campaign I was trying to set up. Now, if you check here, you see, you look, select the pixel. I selected, let me select purchase. Good. As you can see, that error warning message is no longer there. It's gone. It is gone because the events are now, they are now active, and any action that is taken on the site will appear here. So this is exactly what I was talking about. And I know that if you follow this process, you are also going to get the same solution, and your problem will be solved. Your events will be active, and your ad campaigns will run well. Bye-bye once again.